Hello, nomads, hello, party people, strangers everywhere across the internet. My name is V, and welcome to the New Tuesday reviews until we get back to Merlin of Being Human. However, there's a twist this time where we're skipping over the first season's whole episode by episode weekly and just going into season 1 in general. Why? Because season 1 was kind of too short for me. I mean, it was super fucking short, like 6 episodes short. I breezed through the entire first season, didn't really stop, and then when I finally looked back, I was like, is that it? Because I wanted more. I wanted more. But in all seriousness, Season 1 isn't that spectacular in comparison to what comes out from Seasons 2 and 3, in my own opinion. And then Season 4 is... we'll get into that later. But let me first go over what I kind of saw most in Season 1 from the characters of Mitchell, George, and Annie. As you can probably tell, this is the UK version, which is my own favorite. I hate the US version with a burning passion. We'll get into that over time. Now then, the first season sets up the premise pretty nicely. A vampire, Mitchell, a werewolf, George, and a ghost, Annie, are living together trying to act as human as possible while going through the mundane lives of what supernaturals have to do. George having to turn to a werewolf every month during a full moon, Mitchell trying to suppress his bloodlust hunger, and Annie, in the first season at least, trying to come to terms and find out how she died. Now, for just 6 episodes to do that, that was kind of rushed. And I literally mean that from the bottom of my heart as a fan, that all of this seemed a little rushed. And the reason I say that is because there were moments in the show that could have been devoted even more time to, such as Mitchell's history with the original vampire coven led by Herrick, who dies at the end of season 1. We could have dived into more of his history with some flashbacks that could have explained even more stuff about why he's so abstaining himself from joining up with the coven again, why he doesn't want to feed off of humans, and what his interactions were with other people that made him into what he is in the current state. We could have gotten into more of the backstory of George before he was a werewolf and what he wanted most in season 1, and even going into the backstory about the werewolf that turned him into what he is in the show with grander detail rather than just rushing through the story. But we didn't. We could have even dragged into more elements about what Annie goes through as a ghost and how she actually met George and Mitchell rather than just tell, not show. But they didn't. A lot of the plot elements that could have really hooked me in more that season 2 and 3 had to do for me in a giant way, season 1 lacked on. And that kind of saddens me because I remember loving watching season 1 when it first premiered, but now I'm kind of like, I feel disappointed. I feel like my show let me down, and I don't like that. Regardless, though, it did follow up on some stuff that I really did enjoy in the coming seasons, such as George, future love interest slash baby mama, I guess, of Nina, who is a ballsy, take no mess, feminist woman that would really bitch a motherfucker out. We had the thirsty hoe whose name I forget that's all over Harrison that's going to try and bring him back at the end of an upcoming season because of his death at the hand of one of the 3. I'm not going to say which one because you need to watch season 1 to begin with. We also introduced the fact that, from what Mitchell said, there are vampires everywhere, and their whole coup d'etat of trying to take over humanity, which is going to be explained even more as the show goes on. And we even get an explanation on Death's Door, which is a plot element that will really come to fruition throughout the entire series and what that means for every main character. Because unlike a lot of shows, it's not safe for the main characters to live on at all. It's not like in Doctor Who where the Doctor will regenerate into another person and get new companions that may or may not live. No. you always are stuck with the chance that your favorite main character, whether it's Mitchell, George, or Annie, will die at any particular time. And throughout the series, you will cry whenever they finally do die. Because in a show this powerful, this big, where the roster could change at any moment, you have to be on your guard with your emotions about not getting too attached to your favorite character. But then again, the other stuff that kind of felt benign in the elements of season 1 was first Annie's ex-fiance, who we later find out from people that are watching this still trying to get spoilers, is the reason for her death. What are his motives and why he did it, though, I'm going to leave ambiguous. But I will say this. His introduction into the show about how he turned Annie from living bubbly personality into badass ghost that every person fell in love with, especially me, is sort of heart-wrenching and kind of fucked up at the same time. But because of his actions, we got Annie to be with her favorite boys in the world of George and Mitchell. And then we also have to deal with the fact that throughout a lot of the moments in the series, season 1 kind of introduced George's whole neurotic side that I find annoying in him. Now, I love all the main characters, Mitchell, Annie, and George, and eventually Nina when she joins the roster. But with George's whole neurotic side about always being scared and being the negative ninny and everything, and not even trying to look at the positives or trying to find solutions around his own condition of being a lipocanthy person, that just puts a downer on me as a viewer, because I'm like, dude, you're really fucking cool. Why are you still this nervous, neurotic, and down on yourself? Why do you do this to everyone around you who are just trying to have more fun being human rather than a vampire, a ghost, a werewolf, or whatever have you? Just do more positives with your life, man. It's not the glass is always half empty, it's always half full. Look at the positives. Look at the joys in life. Don't let negativity bring you down, as it's coming from someone with bipolar depression. Just think of it more if it's like a character that gets you to try and think more positive because he thinks more negative. And I don't like that. I like having characters that make me want to be more positive because they are positive, if that makes sense. But other than that, it's a good enough start for a fantastic series, and I really did wish it was longer. But the problems that it stems from itself are too grand for me to ignore. Which is why we're going to focus on Season 2 starting next Tuesday. Sorry if this one is late, I had to be in the middle of a recording for something that's coming up really soon where I get to be a voice person. Yay! But until then though, guys, next Tuesday we start Season 2 and I am so excited to go back into loving being human so much before we stop midway so we can go back to Merlin. Anyway, peace and take care of my lovely little nomads out there. I'll see you next time. To all my party people out there, remember to keep on grooving to that unique beat of yours. And to all my strangers out there, if you are feeling alone, if you are feeling sad, if you're feeling like you're misunderstood, join up with the Nomadic family today. We are full of so much love, care, and compassion that it would just warm my heart to see you join up with the family that actually does care, because no one here is misunderstood, no one is hated on, no one is mistreated. I only try to share love with everyone, and I want to make sure I spread it throughout every single part that just embodies purity and a joyous nature. Anyway, bye-bye!